You was trash at one point in your career. Here we go again. Here we go again. You was trash at one point in your career. Now, you're getting on social media, getting on vlogs, getting on blogs, whatever, and complaining that industry producers are getting railroaded and sidetracked by social media producers. When I say social media producers, I'm talking about YouTube, IG, TikTok, etc. Okay? You claiming that these people on IG, YouTube, etc. are trash and they're messing up the game by lowering prices on placements, etc. There's one thing you forgot to mention. You were trash at one point in your career. At one point in your career, you started somewhere with a drum machine, with a sampler, or whatever it was, and your beats was horrible. But somehow you made it through the gates of the industry. Fast forward 25 years, 20 years, etc. You had the audacity to get on here. When I say get on here, I'm talking about social media, YouTube, IG, Facebook, etc. and say that people that are making beats that are coming up are ruining the game. There's one thing you forgot to mention. You were trash too. What you're seeing now are people, you're watching the whole come up, okay? You're watching the whole process on social media. Yes, are people on social media and YouTube, etc., those spaces, are they professional or whatever? No, they're not. Not by far. But they are coming up. And they are coming up fast. And what you don't realize is that it's a journey that's being documented day by day. Okay? Someone can start a YouTube page today, right? Making beats today, and their beats are trash. But they're posting every beat they made. They make 2, 3, 4 beats. They're posting it on social media, TikToks, Reels, etc., right? Stories. They're doing all of this, right? Then we have the so-called industry producers getting mad that they go to these big high-powered meetings at Capitol, at Atlantic, at Empire, etc. And the up-and-coming rapper is like, no, I don't want none of those beats from such and such. I want this one I heard off of social media. You're mad that that person is picking that social media upcomer, right? And you're misplacing your anger. What you don't realize is that the come up is being documented. If someone was to document your come up in the industry, it would be the exact same thing. There's no reason to hate on the social media new producer. What you're missing is that the dynamic has changed. The whole dynamic of producing has changed. And you have forgotten, or you do not realize, that we're in a new dynamic. Back in the day, you know, you came up, people got equipment, however they got it or whatever, right? They got the equipment and they came up. Okay, and they came, and most people don't realize that in the 80s, 90s, if you had a drum machine or whatever and you was semi good and you had a couple of connections, you came up quick. For those days, you came up real quick. Okay. Now, since the dynamic has changed, we get to watch producers who are terrible, but they're coming up and they are great. They're coming up and they are fantastic. And you get to see the journey. And the rappers and the other artists, R&B singers, songwriters are picking those guys, and you're feeling some type of way. There's no reason for you to feel that way. What you need to do is adapt to the dynamic. And I equate this to the financial industry. During the pandemic, remember when everyone was jumping on Robinhood and all these other apps where you can take a fraction of your money, you take your money and purchase a fraction of a company in stock? And the big boys were upset that GameStop was rising, even though they actually really didn't have nothing in assets to offer, but people were making money off of it. That's the same thing in the producing, beat making community. It's the exact same thing. People are coming up. The big boys at the top are upset that the playing field is even now, and it's getting more even, okay? The dynamic is changing and has changed. Now, you can start a YouTube channel 2 years ago, IG page 2 years ago, show your skills. Oh man, that's trash, right? Okay, all right. Brr. Oh damn, you got some heat. Brr. Oh damn, I can hear Westside Gun on that. Brr. Oh damn, yo, so-and-so is in my DMs. He wants to buy my beat for $1,100. That's cool. For someone that's coming up and all they did was post on social media. Okay? Right, I remember I seen Timberland complaining about he used to get 100,000, 200,000 for beats, right? I've seen, I forgot the producer's name. He was on a vlog, right? Complaining that artists was not picking his beats, but they were like, hey, check out this person I found on social media, right? You even have people like the conductor, the beat conductor. Westside Gun found him off of social media. But for some reason, some of you have a problem with that. And it's very simple. It's human nature. But the dynamic has changed, and for some reason, you don't realize that. We have to get out of this mindset that you can come up in the industry, so-called work hard, but you're not the only person that's working hard if you're one of these so-called industry cats, okay? You get, like I said, you get to see people working their butts off on social media, right? Over 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, 24, 36 months, working their butts off, making beats and getting recognition. You have a problem with that. But the thing is, this is the new wave. And for some reason, you don't get it. So what you need to do, right? The same way that artists coming up from making record sales in the 90s, going platinum, etc., right? Some artists, not all, adapted to the streaming services, right? They had to restructure contracts. They had to come up with ways to make money. They had to rely on concerts, rely on merch, okay? So now the producer, the beat maker, etc., has to do the same thing. You have to come up with different ways to produce income, okay? Okay, you got the placement. That's cool. All right, you're getting a little piece of it. All right, that's cool. You're getting residuals or whatever you call it. That's cool. Now it's time for you to sell merch, okay? Now you got all these placements. Say you got 30 placements from 15 artists. Okay, if you demand so much, take those 15 artists and start your own festival. Get all those artists together and put them on a stage, and you stand up there and call it the so-and-so producer festival. All right, all the songs that you produce in whatever, right, co-wrote or whatever, You get all those artists to perform in your own festival, sell tickets, merch, etc. The dynamic has changed. There's other avenues for you to make money. And there's no reason to sit up here and call people trash, say they don't understand. What you're supposed to do is tell them about your journey and how it equates to today. Same thing. That's right. You know me also as a DJ back in the day, right? The same thing with the DJ culture. People were hating on Serato and Tractor and stuff like that, right? But what they don't realize, if they weren't in it from day one, the people that were in it from day one, even Grandmaster Flash, DJ Premier, they didn't like Serato, all that, but they came to love it when they adapted to it, and they realized the dynamic had changed. Okay, they realized that they could go on tour. I remember the DJ Premier and Pete Rock versus Pete Rock, which was just a basic show, right, where they agreed to get on stage and play the songs that they produce back and forth, like an old school Jamaican sound clash. You can do the same thing, man, with your beats. You just have to adapt to what's going on in 2023 and beyond. It's your man, Kirk State. Everybody come together. Stop hating on the new producers, watching it come up. Because I seen people, or actually I know someone that was like, man, yo, Dre, Dr. Dre, yes, West Coast Dr. Dre. 2 out of 10 of his beats were bangers. The rest was trash. True story. So if people saw so you're saying that if people saw Dr. Dre, let's say YouTube was invented in the 80s, right? And then all of a sudden you saw Dr. Dre in 91 or 88 had a YouTube channel. Beats was trash. But he came up with hits one after another. Your whole perspective would change.
Kirk State.